Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Darryl. Whoa, my microphone is so loud. Hang on a second. Let me fix that. I guess I wasn't. I wasn't talking so loud in my little pre-show here. Welcome, everybody. So, I owe some of you an apology, but first, let me explain what's happening here. This is our weekly Energy Mastery Mentorship that normally happens on Monday. And so we have it every Monday for those of you who are in our membership. We have it every Monday, and we have it at 7 p.m. Eastern, right? But this past Monday, I didn't program it properly. I mean, we still had it, but those people who are in the mentorship, they're used to getting emails and reminders and texts and all of these things with the name Dr. Darryl all over it, just harassing you all day long, and you didn't get those things. And so when you don't get those things, when you're used to being harassed, like I got a 27-year-old. I got a 27-year-old and a 32-year-old. The 27-year-old still harasses me. If I ever am not being harassed by her, it's safe to assume that there's something happening and something going on. And I harass you all about these meetings. And so when you all don't get the notification, you all naturally assume it's not happening. And that's rightfully so. So for those of you who are in the mentorship, you can always go into the portal when it's time for the class to start, and you can see the little icon and you can click it and you can join the class. But the emails didn't happen, the text didn't happen, and many of you thought we didn't have it. We did have it, but I set it up too late for you all to get those reminders. And because I don't like disappointing people, I went ahead and said, well, let's just do another one. So for those of you who missed it, you can go back in the archives. Monday's show is there, and you can enjoy this one. Now, all the people who registered for our Before Day of Discovery class that we're having in Utah live on Thursday, September 11th, I invited them to this full month. You all will be able to come to these Energy Mastery classes all month long. And for today's Energy Mastery class, I just invited the public. I just let everybody come. So what you all are witnessing is normally the classroom that's dedicated to the subscribers of Quantum Wellness Pro. And it's because we're going in a day of discovery. There's a lot of Solex stuff in the air. I'm teaching about things on the day prior in a conference room. And people are asking all sorts of questions about the AL scanner. I have people who submitted questions. I have people who email questions. People are asking questions. The AL scanner is all the buzz right now. And so I wanted people to just be able to ask their questions. Since I was making it up to my community, I brought the larger community as well. So we have people in our classroom today who aren't used to being here. And we also have people over on YouTube that's watching. So since we have guests, they don't know the rules. So I'll tell them the rules. This is mostly a question and answer. You just raise your hand. Go down there. If you are in the classroom, you raise your hand. You can go down to reactions and click your hand. And if you raise your hand, I'll bring you into the show or the classroom. And if you are on YouTube, you can do the same thing that people who are in the class who don't want to cut on their camera or don't want to come on and ask a question. You can type it in the chat. And when you type it in the chat, you're going to want to type the letters QQ. You're going to want to type those letters because the chat gets crazy. And so if you type the letters QQ, I can then separate that from everything else. All right. I do want to go over a bit of housekeeping here. We do have, I think the last I looked, it was 4 tickets available for our live training. For those of you all who are members and you didn't get your tickets, you better hurry up. We sold out of the first round, and then we got like 15 more. And we might even be able to get more. I just don't know. It's like when we sell out, we start harassing the people at the conference center again about expanding a little bit. But the tickets are still on sale at the pre-sale price. If they sell out, today is the last day of pre-sale. If they sell out today, I can't be a jerk. We go back into the waiting list. And I don't want people who are on the waiting list to pay the regular price simply because we sold out. It's not really their fault. But if you go to drdarrylwellness.com right now, As long as it's up there, there are still some tickets available. After that, there's a wait list. You really want to get on the wait list because that's the only way you're going to be able to get the pre-sale price. Pre-sale price is $95, and the regular price is going to be $149. Right? So that is that. And I think that's it. I think we can go into this particular class. I do hope the people in the community can accept my apology about Monday's fiasco. I do want to say, though, I like to give some guidance and thoughts. I've been doing something over the last month and a half. I've been walking every morning. I've been doing a 3.5 mile walk, but it's like a fast walk. I don't walk slow. I don't know how to walk slow. I gotta calm down and learn how to walk slow, but in general, I don't. And I get all of these ideas when I'm out in nature, just looking and walking. And one of the things that came to me, and people are always asking about biofeedback in general, and AO scanner in particular, you know, people are wowed by the scanner the first time they get scanned, or the first time they feel a SEFI, or the first time they start doing inner voice. And then they start wondering, well, it doesn't seem to be affecting me in the same way that it used to. And why is that? And part of the reason is because your body has gotten used to it, but you're not really doing things to make more progress. So think about it. When you first start eating well, you know, you've been eating like crap your whole life, right? And when I say you, I'm not criticizing it. We, us. I'll just say me. I ate like crap for most of my life. Because, you know, people don't like when you get personal, so I'll talk about myself. I ate like crap for most of my life. And then the moment that I started eating better, all it took was 2 digestive enzymes. And oh my goodness, I'm no longer gassy. And that's you know, when the gas goes away, the curtains open. You just start feeling like you're hearing serenades and you're hearing music. Because your body didn't have anything to compare it to before. I wasn't well. I just finally had some relief from being sick. And the comparison is obvious. When you are exhausted, when you have bad digestion, when you are in a sickly state, you don't even know you're in a sickly state. The moment you do something that moves the needle, you notice it. But if I just continued with just digestive enzymes, that wasn't going to long term do mass benefits that I'd notice. Sure, my digestion would improve. And over time, improved digestion is really the means for good health. But the noticeable result, though the same thing is happening, my tolerance for feeling it changes. So it is with anything that we're doing that's good. When you start working out, you're sore at first, but that same amount of working out doesn't keep you in that space. And when we start dealing with frequency, most of the time our bodies have never been given frequency in a measured dose in a way that was targeted. It just didn't happen. So the first time your body starts relearning how to come into resonance, start relearning how to come into balance, it's like the music comes on. It's like the light comes on. It's like you feel amazing. But that exact same level won't keep giving you the exact same result. Because overall, when your body starts to learn how to resonate, you're going to want more. Well, you know, consciously maybe not, but subconsciously, your body needs more frequency. It needs more resonance. And you also need to do other things. Frequency is great when your body doesn't have it or hasn't had it. But your body needs water. Water is what frequency rides on. Your body needs good food. Your body needs sleep. Your body needs nutrition. And it's the combination of those things that will bring long-lasting results. And that is what the AO scanner is working on. It's working on the biofield of the body. It's working on resonating properly. but you got to give it the other things that it needs to resonate in order to continue to get those results. All right, I'll say more about that maybe later, because let me get to, we do have people that are asking questions. I'm going to start with Doris. I'm going to ask you, Doris, to unmute, please.
Hello, Darryl. Thank you.
Hello, Doris. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Yes,
Welcome.
I have a question about pendulums.
Yes.
I use a pendulum. I'm Christian, but some of my Christian clients, because I do emotion code, are a little askance, and I don't really know how to explain it well. So, from a Christian perspective, can you help me with that?
Well, I don't know that I can help you from a Christian perspective necessarily, because I don't subscribe to a religion in particular. However, I have studied Christianity and I study pretty much all of the religions. And, well, I guess maybe I can in a sense, because most of the people that I know are Christians. But the reality is, when people have deep held rooted beliefs, I personally am not inclined to try to move that very much. But I will say this: when you look at Jesus and you look at the miracles that Jesus did, anyone found doing that in 2025 would be looked at in the same way that people look at you when you hold up a pendulum.
Okay, thank you.
And what I have done is, because I love my pendulum and I now realize that I get really the best answers from my pendulum, I try to explain to people, not in a religious stance though, but I try to explain to people that what we're dealing with is energy and the ability to measure it. And the pendulum allows us to see and measure the energy that's all around us. And that energy has been all around us since human history. Jesus had that energy. He manifested that energy. And I think that at some point, when we become more like him, we won't even need our pendulum. I don't know if that really helps, but that is when I'm talking to people about pendulum, I tend to use it from an energetic standpoint and explain that we all are energy. We're all dealing with energy, and it's everywhere. I don't personally think Jesus would be opposed to it.
Well, how I explain it was, I use muscle testing, and then I say, well, our biofield extends far beyond my fingers. So then it encompasses the pendulum.
Yeah, yeah, and
So I explain it like that.
yeah, and it encompasses so many other things. Like when you when you smile at someone, particularly someone you love, that's an exchange of energy, and you feel that inside. When someone that you love, or even someone you don't love, is sad or mad, and you see that expression on their face, that's an exchange of energy that you recognize, and the energy that caused that manifests all over their face, and it can change your energy. Pendulums are one of the ways, just like muscle testing, and whether you're doing the sway test or the arm test or the finger test, it's a way to measure that energy that's all around us.
Okay, that's a good explanation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let us go over here to, hang on a second, Lucy. Unmute, please.
Hi, Dr. Darryl.
Hello, Lucy. How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Um, you had done a training before where you could send somebody homeopathic, but not overwhelm them with everything else that was in, the scan. Which one was that? Did you do the easy scan? Because it's like,
Oh, you're talking about when they
I
get the
don't set
report?
yeah, and you did so that they could actually imprint some of the homeopathics.
Yeah. Here, let me show you what I did. I'm going to go here to my AO scanner. You just stay right there, Lucy. I'm going to go over to my AO scanner. And what I did was I went to the easy scan. I'm in my profile, so I can do this. And up here where it says easy scan supplements, I go to show all, and then I uncheck everything. Everybody's is going to look a little bit different, but I leave checked general, right? Now, here's the trick. Prior to doing this, I went into my general and into my supplements, and I made sure that the general only has homeopathics, meaning, when you look there, it'll say 5 to 6 pellets. That's all it'll say. All right. And so you have to take everything else out of there. And mostly that's all that is. There are a few things in there, like Solex might have blue in there or gold or something like that. You just need to recategorize those. So the goal here is to make sure that you only have general check, right? And then you run an easy scan. Now, here's the part that I may not have I've said before, because it takes a few extra steps. You run an easy scan, right? And then you got to wait 20 minutes before you do part 2. But you got to do the easy scan first. If you don't do the easy scan first, it's never going to work. And then after you are done with that and you've waited, then you come back over here and you go down to your, where am I at? You go to your vitals scan, you deselect everything. Now, what I like to send people are food sensitivities, and that's it. Nothing else. So when you select food sensitivities, you scan, you optimize. I'm not going to do it here because no, I can, because this is quick. This is quick. Let me just do this. So I'm just going to scan myself with food sensitivities. We're going to pretend that I did the easy scan. I didn't, but we're going to pretend I did. And I'm going to do optimize. All right. Then I'm going to go back over here to comprehensive, and I'm going to go down here to custom scan, and I'm going to deselect everything. The only thing that I am going to choose is the vertebrae. Nothing else. Oh, sorry, I got to go back. Sorry, I got to do that again. Whenever that happens, you have to stop it. You don't want that scan to complete. Otherwise, I'd have to wait another 20 minutes. But my fingers just got the best of me. All right, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to come back over here to comprehensive, custom scan, deselect all, and I'm going to go down to skeleton and vertebrae. And I'm going to scan and optimize. All right, so I'm going to show you in 1 second, Lucy, what this does, but I do need to tell you that since I didn't do the easy scan portion, the homeopathics that we're talking about, that's not what's going to show there. What's going to show there would be whatever I did the last time I did an easy scan, unless that is the last time that I did when I did an easy scan. We'll find out in 1 second. But now that I'm done with all of that, I'm going to go back to easy scan, and I'm just going to do enhance or classic reports. It doesn't matter. I like the way enhanced reports look. And what will happen is, it is. So the last time I did an easy scan, I did select that. And so what will happen is, as long as you did the easy scan the way I told you to, everything that shows up in the supplements section will have an imprint next to it. Everything. Because you did this in a very specific way. And then when you scroll down to the vitals, all you got are food sensitivities. And since I didn't have any vertebrae that were problematic, I don't have anything in the comprehensive side. So in essence, what I did was I tricked the system to only show me things that people don't freak out about. And what I have found that people don't freak out about are food sensitivities and vertebrae. Those are the two things that I'm clear on. And the added bonus of it is the top portion will all be something that when they get that report, they will be able to click the imprint button. Now, what I'm hoping is, and I've asked Lauren for this, what I'm hoping is that Lauren will allow make it so that we can do a quick scan and then email that. Because if you could do a quick scan and email that, then you would be able to trick the system again to only show me homeopathics and then email that. But this is the way that we have to do it for now. Does that make sense?
It does. And it did when you explained it the first time, but I couldn't find my notes and I was trying to go back and find it, in the sections.
I made a video
so
too.
Thank you for explaining it again.
You're welcome. And there's a video on my YouTube page. YouTube page is Ask Dr. Darryl. And there's a YouTube video there where I lay it out step by step.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right. Steve, I'm sorry. Steve, unmute, please.
How's it going? Dr. Dill, first of all, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to kind of pick your brain and gain your knowledge and for you to give some of your time to us tonight.
Hey,
So just
thank
want
you
to
for
thank
being
you.
here.
So my question is, I do quite a few remote healings, and I wanted to kind of just get some insight from you on one of the things I'm doing is I'm kind of a checklist for people, for my clients ahead of time so they can come in so their biofield's a little bit better prepared for the frequencies. You kind of hit on one thing already, make sure they're hydrated, trace minerals, that kind of stuff. I just wanted to see if you had any other kind of insight as far as what you would do to have your clients be prepared so they can be more receptive to the frequencies, like, calming down their nervous system, that kind of stuff. Because I deal with a lot of people with chronic pain, and by the time they come in, their nervous systems are kind of fried, from having
What type
chronic.
of practitioner are you?
I'm just a frequency practitioner.
Okay.
I do remote healings.
So everything is
country.
remote. You don't. So everything is 100%
Correct.
remote from what you're doing. Okay.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
what I would have them.
So just want to get your insight.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure. What I would have them do is I would have them do their inner voice first. How do you tell me how you do your inner voice? Do you do it while they are with you?
Yeah, so I do all mine over Zoom, and so I have a protocol I follow. So basically, you start out with clearing shield, EMF shield, grounding. Then I do the easy scan, and then after easy scan, I do a race, and then I come back after a race and do the inner voice pulse, depending on whether it's emotional issue or physical issue. And then after that, then I do SEFI imprinting.
Okay, so
That's
and
been a pretty.
you're doing the inner voice while they're there. You're playing it for them instead of emailing it to them. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
I haven't had the opportunity yet to get their voice imprint.
Okay. So if I were you, I would consider something. I would consider getting their voices in advance, meaning just set up something where you could do it as just a voicemail where they call in a voicemail and leave their voice print, run their inner voice, and then email that to them, having them listen to that before they get to you resets their system already. And then it also will save you a little bit of time when you're actually dealing with them. That, of course, hydration is a huge key. And also, if you can just have them find some sort of a sound therapy to actually do, because the goal is just to take the brain and to get those brain waves processing. And then when you get them inside of your system, if they've already listened to their tones prior while they're waiting or in the half hour before actually meeting with you, then your session is a little bit easier. And then your SEFIs and scans will be more effective because you've already reset them before they got in there. That's something to think about.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Thanks for your insight on that. I know I need to better prepare them coming in here because some people are just their biofields aren't ready to receive the frequencies. So
They're not.
when
But however, that's where we come in. Sometimes it's not
Right.
even going to happen in 1 or 2 sessions. As long as they're willing, then coming back is what's going to help.
You bet.
That's what
Thanks for
makes
your time.
you better than most of the people that they're going to see.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. All right. Let me go over here to our typed out questions. Hang on a second. Let me. All right. Where do you find vitals and comprehensive only multi-scan? Wait, let me start over. Where do you find vitals and comprehensive only multi-scan that scans up to 15 persons at once? Not the one that includes flower essence and custom lists. I used to use it in the old system. So you're asking where vitals and comprehensive is inside of this new system. When you scroll down this version 2, you scroll down and then there's an area here that you scroll across. So right here where you're seeing vitals scan here, if you just swipe, then it moves and you have body systems. Sorry, my iPad is really acting crazy today. And then comprehensive, and then multi-scan, and then home, well, depending on what you have access to. But that's how you find it in the new version. And just so you know, the old version is still there. You can find it by simply going, I think you click on your name. Nope, is it here? Yeah, when you click on these 3 dots here, you can scroll down and you can click on theme, and you can get back to the old system if you want. Click on the version 1 and apply, and then you're right back there. The system still works regardless. I just happen to think that the new system is cool. It took me a little while to get used to the new system, but I think that it is cool. Now that I'm here, I forgot how to get back. I don't want to stay here. What's over here? I got it. Hang on 1 second. Version 2. All right.
Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, Kathy, you are up next. Go ahead and unmute.
Okay, I am unmuted.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you, ma'am?
I'm well. How are
Good to
you?
see you. I'm well.
Good to see you. So I have two questions that are unrelated
Okay.
and hopefully short. The first one is I was talking with a good friend last night, and she has done inner voice with me before. And for the first time, she doesn't do it very often. And for the first time, she told me last night that she's afraid to do it. She's afraid of the frequencies. And she had someone, this is years ago, she's lived in Hawaii for 18 years now. And so it's been way longer ago than that. A mentor of hers told her that he was listening to frequencies and meditating, and his wife had to like bring him back. That I don't know if his meditation, he was traveling or where he went, but his wife, he wasn't coming back on his own, and his wife had to like get him back. And so she's been afraid of frequency ever since. And I know when you listen to, like, there's a ton of stuff out there on YouTube that you can listen to different frequencies for just about anything you can think of has stuff out there. So it made me wonder, we've always talked about that the body only takes what it can use and it disregards the rest. I haven't ever had a concern about frequency, but when she brought that up, I thought, well, the YouTube videos, I don't think they're very pure. There's distortions and things. Are there frequencies that we can listen to that would be harmful to us?
Listen, I guess technically yes. Everything is a frequency, and I guess theoretically you would be able to make a frequency that is against nature, right? But I'm thinking this out because this isn't something that I've thought about much. But even
Right.
if a frequency is against nature, when it is presented to something natural, your own body's biofield has a way of deflecting that. So, in general, a frequency that you don't need is canceled out just by the nature of things. But I'll say this though. In that particular case that you were just giving, fear is a frequency too. And when you are afraid of something and you are afraid of a specific thing, you're resonating on the thing that you're afraid of, and you are more likely to bring that thing into your reality, even though that's not something that you want. This is the reason why people get afraid that they're going to get sick and then they get sick. This is the reason why people get afraid that they're going to get in a car accident and then they get into a car accident, because the fear is a resonance of its own, and the body doesn't necessarily have the ability to distinguish what's real from what's not. So if a person were that fearful of a frequency, even if the frequency itself was not harmful, the frequency that they resonate on when they think about that frequency is more real than what's actually coming in. And that would be the problem, not the frequency itself, from my perspective. In the beginning was the word. And when you say something, it is. Words, thoughts are powerful. And when you resonate on something, the body almost has no choice but to make it happen. If you think about it long enough or deep enough, if it's within our sphere to think about. So anyway, I say I'm going off on a tangent here. Anybody who was in that state, I would probably say that they probably aren't ready for frequency anyway. And so it's almost no need to dabble in that with that particular person, because either they're going to block it to the point that it's not going to be successful, or they will take from it and do something with it that harms themselves by their own thought, and you won't be able to tell them that you didn't do it.
That makes sense. It's what you fear, you draw near.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Great explanation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was it? I thought you said you had two things.
I do have one other quick question. So one of the things that I've been running across in working with some different folks, you know, since I'm kind of starting out with this, trying to make this as a business, somebody asked if I had a symptoms checklist. And I had something that I had gotten from a class I'd taken a long time ago. And it was just so deep and many pages long, and I don't want anything that long, and I don't really know how to do that kind of thing. And I just wondered, do you use that, and do you have like a symptoms checklist?
I have
that
a
you
symptoms
people
checklist, but again, I'm in
update?
practice and I'm dealing with people who are sometimes very, very ill. For what it is that you're doing, and especially when you're not looking to practice at that level, there's
No,
no
I'm
need. I
not.
mean, what are you going to do with it? Nothing. It might make you look a little bit more established or polished. But the reality is that a symptom survey is really what they're called, symptom surveys. When you are in the field that I'm in, they're common, they're used. But what we're doing is we're utilizing those, and we're taking it with the key, and we're lining it up to supplementation and modalities and things like that. And for what it is that are doing, I don't think it would even be appropriate. But I think it would even be overkill for what you're trying to do.
Okay. Well, I had the one client, well, I have two clients. One client, I had a long talk with him. He's been with me a month now, and had a long talk with him a few days ago, and he's not remembering how things were when he first started. And I mean, I visually can see big differences, and he's not remembering. He only thinks of how he is now. And so he thought a checklist would be handy, like even if I had something for
Wait,
your
hang on one
sleep
second.
or,
Kathy, hold on one second.
oh, okay.
Go ahead and unmute again, Kathy.
Okay, I did.
All right.
So like how you sleep, or, you know, depression level or anxiety level, or just some general things, not things like just deep diving into stuff, but I don't know.
So I experience that a
would that
lot.
be-
I experience that a lot, and it's not even their fault. When people have been dealing with things for so long, the moment that they get a little relief, they immediately replace the capacity with something else because you're used to it. I gave this example to two of my clients in sessions today, and I said that I've been walking now for about a month and a half. And when I first started walking, the very first day, I was so exhausted, and my legs were tired, and my legs were sore. And by the time, it took me an hour to do this walk. And by day 5, I wasn't nearly as tired anymore. I wasn't nearly as sore, and I didn't take the win. You know what I did, Kathy? I started walking further. I started walking faster. I started walking up the hill and down the hill, and I took that hour. So if I were to walk what I walked on day 1, it would take me about a half hour now. I still take that hour, but I started taking an hour because subconsciously it was the pain and the exhaustion that I used to measure the reward for what I did, right? Yeah. And so when you're in that mindset subconsciously, what you're accustomed to is a specific thing, and subconsciously you are even though you might be better, you're not taking that as a win. You're continuing to do more and more and more, and then you're saying, "Look how exhausted I am." But the reality is, you might not be that exhausted if you realize that you're better and rested. And so a lot of times when we're dealing with things, when people start getting better, especially when you're dealing with frequency, because you don't notice it, but other people notice it, and they notice it on you, and they can see your energy field change around you. You are only noticing what you're feeling right now. And as your capacity to, or as your pain decreases, as your exhaustion decreases, you still are at the tolerance, at the highest tolerance of what you're able to tolerate. So if my
Right.
level to deal with pain was up here, and that's what my pain was, and then my pain is now down to here, but that's as much pain as I can take, even though it's lower, I'm still at 100%.
Yeah.
And then if it gets lower and lower and lower and lower, but as it gets lower, I feel like that's the most pain I can take, I'm still at 100%. The numerical value has changed, but it hasn't changed in my mind. And that's what's happening with the person that you're talking about, most likely. They're
Totally,
shifting,
totally.
but they don't notice it because they're stuck in the cycle of whatever their vortex is.
So how do you deal with that?
Well, you can't necessarily. You have to have them deal with it. And one of the things that I do in practice is I like to ask people to let me know how you feel today. And I go down the checklist. How are your emotions? How is your pain? How is your sleep? And I ask them to rate that 1 to 10, and I write that down. And then the next time I talk to them, I don't say, how do you feel in comparison to how you felt last week? How do you feel? Rate your sleep 1 to 10. Rate your pain 1 to 10. And very often when you start asking these questions in that way, you'll notice that the number is going down. They'll tell you, I'm really, really tired this week. And then you start asking them what they did, and they did more than they had done the week before. And you got to talk, you got to listen, and you have to measure. And then very often you'll be able to see it yourself. Oh, you were 7 last week. You're 6 this week. You're 5 this week. Without comparing it, they're not comparing it to the week before, and then asking them questions, and then showing them that, do you remember you couldn't do this when we met? Or it was difficult for you to do this when we met. You didn't smile when we met, but at least you muster up 2 or 3 smiles now. The truth is, people are so absorbed with their own reality and what's happening around them. Most people don't notice that they're getting better, including us. It takes other people sometimes to tell us that we're getting better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I work with a trainer, and I bet he notices things that I'm doing now that I couldn't do before, and it's like, oh yeah, I am progressing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true. Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, let's get back over here to comments. I got some questions that were submitted. I'm going to go to those in a second. All right. Oh, well, thank you. Hopefully you find something out of it. All right. Kelly says, confirming that I need to remove items like physical supplements, digestive enzymes from the general category to morning, afternoon, or evening. This will allow homeopathy to be the only thing showing in the inner voice. Thank you so much. Yes. And just so that people know what I'm talking about, let me show you mine again. I'm gonna head over here. So I'm in my profile, so I can do this. I'm gonna go to supplements and therapies, and I'm gonna go to my general tab. Come on. All right. So I'm grouping it by category, and when you look at general, my general tab, you see everything in there says 5 to 6 pellets. 5 to 6 pellets. That's how you know that it's a homeopathic. If something doesn't say 5 or 6 pellets, then it's not a homeopathic. Now, theoretically, you don't have to make this a generals tab. You could create your own tab. It's just that all of your homeopathics are already located in the generals tab. See, that's the reason why it's easier to do. It's easier to take those 3 or 4 things out. But theoretically, you could just create a new tab and then go down to all of these things and recategorize them as that. When you do that, then every time you do an easy scan or a quick scan, the only thing you're going to come up with is that. Here, let me show you very quickly what I mean. Where did they put quick scan on here? I think, oh, it's right here. All right, so I'm in the quick scans. I'm just going to quickly do a custom quick scan. And I am going to just choose a general. That's it, nothing else. And I'm going to click next and scan. You'll see the only thing that will pop up is homeopathic. See? The only thing that will pop up is homeopathic. Now, the problem is you cannot email this scan. You can't, there's no email button. What I showed you before is the trick to get to the email button. You have to, you can't even do it here. You have to do it in the Easy Scan format and then email the Easy Scan. Now, you can email it as it is, but I don't like freaking people out, so I don't. But regardless, if you do it that way, when they get it, then they can click imprint and imprint. All right, so that's the answer there. Could you give a class on how to use your site? Break it down. Wait, what? Can you give a class on how to use your site? Break it down the way you've done the scanner. I don't believe I've utilized the site till its fullest. You know, it's interesting. I can do that. Amy, I can. So just what Amy is talking about is the Quantum Wellness Portal. It's our membership. So we have in there like sections. We have recipes, and you can sort through thousands of recipes and make food plans and all of that. We have what are known as, we have the AO Scanner Simplified course, which has all of the AO Scanner course. It's like, I think we did 20 weeks, I think. I think it was like 20 weeks that we did on the AO Scanner. We have infoceuticals, which are digital files that you can imprint with an IC Glow pad. What else? We have charts that you utilize for your wands, body charts, like for different conditions, and it shows you what parts on the body to stimulate. And we also have ear charts that show you what part to put the laser on if you have lasers. What else do we have in there? We have all of our master classes. We have over a year's worth of these weekly classes, and we've got the auriculotherapy class. We've got different master classes, but I have not done a class on the Quantum Portal itself where I start going through each section. I did make some recordings, but no, Amy, yes, that's something that I need to do. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, Janelle says, if you were opening a new business with the knowledge you currently have, what 3 modalities would you definitely offer? Inner voice, for sure. I would utilize PEMF, so I would have to have, if we're talking Solex stuff, I would have to have that mat. And the hub is a whole experience in itself. But I think that the thing that I really need is the knowledge of dealing with people and the knowledge of just kind of knowing when you are having conversations with people to just listen to them. That will go further than any modality. When you sit across from someone and talk to them and actually listen to what they've experienced, healing will happen right then on a whole different level. Because most people never get heard. Most people never get listened to. They go to their doctors. They even go to their natural doctors. And the natural doctor, and I was guilty of this at one time, was so caught up in trying to make sure that we didn't miss anything, that what we missed was hearing you talk. What we missed was hearing your pain and hearing your experiences. And most people have just never been listened to. And when they are listened to, 2 things happen. One, they get it out. You know, this is stuck energy when nobody's listening to you. It's just stuck inside you. And most of what you are experiencing is a reaction of energy that's been stuck inside of you. So they get relief by releasing their truth. And you get to hear it. And by hearing it, really, really hearing it, you get to figure out where your modalities are and how you can get in there. Because in truth, it doesn't really matter what your modality is. All of these modalities are designed to bring homeostasis back to the body. And one of them is not superior to the other. It's what you resonate with the most. And so whatever, if you're a chiropractor, dealing with that spine is going to be amazing. If you are an acupuncturist, getting those meridians together is going to be amazing. If you're a hypnotherapist or an energy worker, whatever it is that you're doing, it's all different parts of the same puzzle that you're utilizing, but connection is what actually moves the needle. All right. I've opened a clinic and would like to know how to incorporate AO scanner with PEMF. I'm not exactly sure what you mean, Roma, by that question, incorporating the scanner with PEMF. When you're utilizing the scanner, you're bringing balance to the biofield. When you're utilizing PEMF, you're bringing balance to the body, the bones, the tissues, the blood. So they're separate, but when you use one and then use the other, you're just reinforcing. So I'm not sure that that helps. But you could always re-ask it if I didn't get in there. What are your thoughts on peptide injections? Do you offer those in your practice or only as imprints? I do offer peptide injections in my practice. I think that peptide injections have done wonders. That's all I'm going to say here. But you can contact me if you have more questions. All right. It's a good idea to understand what the SEFI suggests. Or is it a good idea to understand what the SEFI suggests? Amy, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you possibly do me a favor and just reword that for me? I'm not sure what you mean. All right, we had some questions that were submitted prior. Let's go over to this one here. What exactly is AO scanner? How does it work? AO scanner is a biofeedback device. Biofeedback that resonates energy, checks your field of energy to find out which frequencies are resonating properly, which frequencies are not resonating properly. And it gives you the ability to bring those frequencies back into balance in a bunch of different ways. So you have the inner voice module, which from my perspective is a whole healing tool, because it allows you to have the medicine right in the module, meaning when you listen to the tones, it's helping to bring back into balance everything that you're seeing on the report, not just the emotions. And I don't say just on emotions as though the emotions are a small thing. I'm saying that the emotions are tied to all of the physical markers that you're seeing. And so the tones don't just deal with that. They also bring all of those things back into balance because they're resonating together. And you also have other areas. And so one of the things that I want people to really stop doing immediately, if you can, stop feeling like you need to utilize every aspect of the scanner. The AO scanner has all of these different modules that wherever you are inclined, you can bring the body back into balance using them. So if you're inclined towards emotions, you love inner voice. If you are a data analyst, you might love vitals. If you are a physical person and you love working with the bones and ligaments, or if you are fascinated by organs, comprehensive might be your baby. And I gave this analogy before. When you walk into Walmart, you know that there is a section for automotives. You know there's a section for medication. You know there is a section for household goods. You know there's a section for groceries now. You know there's a section for men's clothing. You know there's a section for women's clothing. You know there's a hardware section. You don't feel inclined to stop at every aisle. You don't feel inclined to shop in every category that's inside of Walmart. You know that when you go to Walmart, you need this and you need that, and you know where those things are. And if you happen to need a hammer one day, you know you can go into Walmart and head on over towards the hardware section. But you're not inclined. You don't feel like you have to visit every section. Whatever your interests are, they got it. And whatever you are inclined to utilize, whatever you're inclined to utilize when you are utilizing the AO scanner, you can stay in that one area scan, optimize, look at reports if you're one to read them, and bring balance back to the body. Because the vitals will affect the emotions, and the vitals will affect the comprehensive, and the comprehensive will affect the vitals, and the comprehensive will affect the emotions, and the emotions will affect everything else. When you segment things and you feel that you have to go into every area, you're like the doctors, where you have a foot doctor and an eye doctor and a ear, nose, and throat doctor and a cardiologist, not realizing that the body is one unit, and when you do something to one area, it will have an effect on the other area. All right, I just went on a tangent, and I gotta stop doing that. I really gotta stop doing that. What's the difference between vitals, comprehensive, SEFI, and inner voice scans? Well, I kind of already just talked about that. Those are areas of the scanner that bring balance to different things. So when you are utilizing inner voice, and you take the medicine from the inner voice, which are the tones, you're bringing balance to the emotions, which by default bring balance to those things associated with the note. When you are utilizing vitals, you are bringing balance to the frequency of the blood, or the blood chemistry. When you're using comprehensive, you're bringing balance to the bones and the ligaments and the tissue and the organs. And when you are utilizing body systems, you are bringing balance to the whole thing. And in my teaching, I tell people to don't read the body systems report unless you already know that a body system is out of balance. That's the only time, from my perspective, the body systems report needs to be analyzed. Other than that, I run body systems in order to get the optimization. And for those of you who are utilizing my mentorship, please go to the AO Scanner mentorship and watch those lessons on those things. They're all in video format. All right. Wanted to make sure nobody else had their hand up. Get back over here to comments. You all got them coming in tonight. All right, Felisa, would you consider adding a playlist section to the portal? There are some of the chats hard to search and others in different places. Would it be great to have one place to see an inventory of suggested playlists? Felisa, if you're talking about SEFI playlists, we do have that. Inside of the AO Scanner Simplified course, hang on, because I got so much stuff in here, I don't even know where everything is. Let me look. Make myself out to be a liar here. All right. Hopefully I can find it very quickly. I mean, this is something that's new, though. It's not really that full. All right, so in section 1.1, which is the AO Scanner Simplified course, where did I put it? All right, maybe it's in file downloads. All right, it's not in file downloads. Maybe class. No, that's something different. All right, well, because I'm talking about it, I'm not going to be able to find it. But we do have a SEFI playlist inside of inside of the AO Scanner Simplified course. We have a bunch of them, and I'm going to be adding more every single month, just like we add everything else. But because you asked, I will find out where they are, and I'll send out an email for other people who don't know where it is. All right. Roma, do you use any other feedback modalities in conjunction with AO? No, not with AO. So just to be clear, I'm a naturopath. I'm a practitioner. I'm not a Solex practitioner. I'm just a practitioner. And Solex happens to be, they've got amazing products. So I use Solex in my practice. But I utilize Zyto. And that's the only other I use Zyto, and I utilize a Meridian scanning technique that utilizes that physically scans the meridians. I use that as well, and that's all biofeedback. How can you help someone that you've scanned and when you follow up with them, they say that they don't notice anything or any different from listening to their inner voice? Also, how do you help someone that says that they don't notice any difference from the SEFIs that are played for them? Well, sometimes, unfortunately, you can't. I mean, the reality is a person has to be really open, and sometimes what they're dealing with is so severe that frequency isn't going to help them out of it. The frequencies are making shifts, but the physical body is so down that they might not notice it. And unless they're going to keep doing it, then you can't. Everybody isn't going to feel it. Everybody is not sensitive to frequency. Everybody doesn't even have a biofield that is open. So there are some people who are just going to fall into that category where they're just not going to feel it for one way or the other. Now, I'm not saying to give up on them. I'm saying that in general, there are certain things that you're going to need to make sure. They need to be hydrated. They need to have trace minerals. They need to be sleeping. They need to be eating well. And when those things aren't happening, then they're not going to notice frequency. And they also need to be in an emotional space. Now, another thing you might want to do is forget about feeling it. Like when you listen, let's have a heart to heart here. When you are dealing with medical doctors and they're giving you these toxicities in the form of pills, you don't necessarily feel better, but you don't complain about it. Sometimes you don't feel it at all. What you're waiting for is to see what the next blood test shows. Hell, sometimes you feel worse from taking that, but you still continue to take it. Why? Because you somehow believe in that. So it's the belief or disbelief in something that keeps you going. You believe in the pill, you believe in the toxicity, you know that other people have had moved from this needle to that needle in that, and you don't go to the doctor and say, well, I don't feel anything. You never say that. So a mind shift change has to happen. When it comes to frequency, why do we automatically discount something simply because we don't feel it? So if you can talk to them and you can maybe say, allow me to handle this aspect of it. I'm going to analyze your reports. I'm looking for your reports to get better. I'm looking to see movements or shifts in energy. And the fact that you don't feel anything is not really concerning me right now. Can you allow me to continue to do this on your behalf, even though you don't feel it, and just kind of forget about it? Because when most people say that, they're downing things and they're being negative. And you might want to ask them, well, how often do you feel what the doctor does? And most of the time, again, if you feel what the doctor does, it means you're throwing up or you're straddling a toilet all weekend long, and nobody wants that. All right. All right. SEFI playlists are in your notes as well. Yeah, but I can't find where they are in the portal though. All right, you need cute. Oh, Kathy's telling other people about their questions. Well, they're not too bad. I'm still going through them. All right. So how do you support them? I feel a roadblock when they say none of this is helpful. Well, I mean, again, you can't support everybody. You're not going to be able to support. You're just, unfortunately, it's not a situation. And so here's the real truth. You feel a roadblock. You need the support. I'm not saying this sarcastically, and I'm not saying this to be mean or rude, but what you're saying is they tell me this. Hear me. People are telling me this, and my reaction is that. How can I help them? Well, if someone is telling you something, you can't control what people say. If someone is telling you something and it's deflating you, and you're reacting to what's being said, then a better question might be, how can I support myself so that the frequency of negativity that's being brought to me stops at the door of the person bringing it and never influences my biofield and affects me? Let's talk about that. So scan yourself, do your inner voice, find some SEFIs that will boost self-confidence, clear yourself energize yourself, get your biofield in check. And when someone says those things to you, you won't have to react to it, because that's the real thing. You can't control other people, but you're having a reaction to what other people are doing. And that is the essence of healing. Work on you, not them. All right. Hopefully I didn't just lose a listener there. All right. I believe the SEFI playlists are in the AO Scanner income potential section. If they are in there, Angela, thank you, but I got to get them out of there and get them in an easier to find place, because I hid them from myself and I don't like that. All right. Should we await setting? Should we? I'm not sure what you're saying here, Dr. Jacqueline. Another setting to inquire on org. Please retype that for me, Dr. Jacqueline. I'm not sure what you're saying there. The playlists are in the AO Scanner section at the bottom in the resource section. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you. All right. Let's go back over here. Anybody who wants to come on and ask a question, go ahead and raise your hand. We will be, for those of you who are going to Day of Discovery, we're going to be having a live session, if you happen to get there in time, on Thursday, September 11th. Information you can find there on drdarrylwellness.com. Also, we have these chats weekly, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And feel free to join us by looking into our mentorship or membership. You'll find that information on the same website, drdarrylwellness.com. All right, I'm going to go back over here and answer a couple more questions, and then I will dismiss us if we run out. Do I need to be physically present for a scan, or can it be done remotely? It can be done remotely. If you're doing an inner voice scan, your voice actually needs to be presented somehow. And so we have a wellness portal here. For my clients, they log into the wellness portal, click a button, and ask and speak. And when they speak, I take that out of it and hold it up to the microphone and run their inner voice scans. Everything else is utilizing quantum entanglement, and you don't need to be there at all. What do the results actually mean, and how do I interpret them? Well, that is a whole lesson in itself. If you have access to the AO Scanner Simplified course, we go over ways to track trends in your scans. But I will tell everybody, it doesn't mean anything, especially not one scan, not usually. Unless you're manifesting something. What you're looking at with these scans are frequencies that could not resonate. From the easy scan perspective, you're looking at frequencies that can't resonate. In general, you're looking at all of the frequencies and you're seeing whether they resonated. A frequency that doesn't resonate doesn't necessarily mean anything if it doesn't resonate one time. All of us have frequencies that are not resonating properly right now. Let me tell you something. If you were to take a Buddhist monk who'd been meditating and praying for 3 weeks, and you were to take him right out of that meditative state and get his voice, his inner voice scan is not going to come back empty. There are going to be things there. And his body systems will say gonorrhea or something like that, because frequency mismatches are all over the place. So, there. I don't even know where I was going with that. Maybe this is my way out of this is to ask Mary to unmute, please.
Thank you, Darryl. I just wanted to make a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever you did the pendulum class, the first one,
Yes, ma'am.
at the very beginning of that class, you did an amazing description of the pendulum and the energy frequency that we were testing. And so in response to what Doris asked earlier, I was able to use the way that you explained that. And I don't have it in front of me because I don't have
Yeah,
my
I have no
notes.
idea what I said. I got to go watch.
But I mean, it was all about the universe and everything. And it was just so good. I was able to share that with a couple of my clients. And it just hit them because there was a couple of them that have always been kind of woo-woo,
Yeah.
about the pendulum. But it doesn't affect me. I still work it the same way.
Yeah.
But the way you described it that night in the first pendulum class 2 weeks ago, it was perfect. So if anybody here is able to go back and listen to that, I would suggest to do that. It was the very beginning before you ever pulled the pendulum up.
Maybe I'll clip that out and post that. If it had that
I
effect,
think that would be great.
If it had that effect on you, it's probably something that I should just make public.
Yeah.
Thank you
That's
so
good.
much.
You're welcome.
All right, Steve, go ahead and unmute, please.
Hey, Dr. Darryl, again, thanks a lot for your time today. I got a hub question for you.
Yes, sir.
So I've got a client I'm working on that is experiencing since been doing a combination of hub and RTMS together. Obviously do 30 minutes on the hub, give a 30-minute break, and then 30 minutes of the RTMS. But she also has chronic back pain. And I was wondering if there's a way for you to stack. Now, I'm also frequency stacking. We're multicasting to her. She's listening to her voice through the hub. So she's getting a lot of stuff already, but I'm thinking, would it be possible to also incorporate a hub session for chronic pain as well to help her with her back pain? Because she's not really responding to us. And
Do you
how would
have the
kinda
lasers?
sequence that? Don't have the lasers.
Do you have
Not
any-
yet. I'm getting, they're coming.
Do you know when? Are they coming
I do have-
soon?
I do have the laser that you recommended. I bought it off the website. So one's like $149.
Okay, so you have a laser. All right, so here, let me show you
I
something.
have
here.
a laser.
All right.
Yeah.
So, hang on a second. Let me get my chart. There's an area. Well, you know what? I'll do it like this. Hold on. Look at this one. So, there's an area of the ear. So the entire ear is an ecosystem. And this particular area here around this represents the spine, right? When you get your lasers, what I want you to do is to take the red laser, the 635 nanometer laser, and I want you to place it here and very slowly go up and down the spine with it. Up and down the spine. And
see.
this portion here represents near the top. This represents the bottom portion of the spine. So when you get here at a certain point, take the laser and saturate this area here, because this will be where back pain is. Do you have a membership to our portal?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's on
Okay.
my-
All right. Well, listen, this is not a sales pitch or anything like that. But the reason why I asked that question was because I was going to say we have some protocols in there for back pain, and it'll show you like very specifically. But without that, if you were to literally saturate this area, and when I say saturate it with light, I'm talking for about a good 2 minutes, just slowly going up and down this spinal cord, and then in this area right here with red light, those are referred areas that immediately take that frequency right back to the spinal cord, and it takes it right back to the lower back. And so as a standalone, it's a good thing, but when you stack it with what you're doing, it's giving physical frequency where the other frequencies are, going, you're dealing with sound and referred things on the ear that go to the brain, and that will help to support all of that.
And should I do that on the right ear? Or is that the way you demonstrate?
Well, no,
it on the right ear?
that just happens to be a right ear. You should do it on
Okay.
the dominant side. So find out if she's right-handed or left-handed, and then do it on that side.
Gotcha.
If you
Thanks very
ever
much,
deal
Dr.
with a
Bell.
situation where the pain is
You
I
muted
lost you.
yourself, Darryl.
I lost you.
hang on.
If you go back, if you ever find yourself in a situation,
Wait a
everything
second.
after that.
So wait, you all can't hear me right now?
You can now.
Oh, I didn't even unmute myself.
Yeah.
I didn't even do anything. All right. Well, anyway,
You just cut our situation.
if you're in a situation where the person is in pain on one side, then do that side. But other than that, then do their dominant side.
Great.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
All right. a second. All right. Let's see whether or not, I think we got a couple more questions. What time is it? It's 8:10. I want to be respectful. I will be closing out in just a few minutes. All right. All right. When using OHS fasting kits, do you avoid all other supplements or does that mean OHS fasting kit? Is that what you're asking? If it is, I'm going to assume that's what you're asking. And no, you use the supplements that you feel are needed. Now, when I have a client on those, I usually only use the supplements that I have the client use the supplements that I'm doing, but not because it's going to interfere, because OHS supplements are pre-digested, so they're good. I just usually are providing them with everything that they need. All right, Kathy, if you found an American company that sells organ vials, I have not. However, I am still in talks with one company to get them. We're just trying to figure out the best way to get them to you all. And I need to look back. I wish that I had that information prior to coming on, because I think that our communication, our last communication, we were still trying to figure it out. But we may have figured it out, and I don't even know about it. But we will get that to you soon. All right. So to tag on to Steve's question for pain and back and sciatica, could we use the wand in the area for pain management instead of the ears? You can. When you're using the wand, you want to use it in that area. So you're going to wand the area of the actual pain and try to get it on skin if you can. That's going to be the best thing. All right. Listen. Thank you, everyone. I hope that you all learned something. If you missed any of this and you tuned in through YouTube, that same YouTube link will be the replay. If you did not see it, just go to the YouTube page. My YouTube page is Ask Dr. Darryl, and you will find this along with other YouTube videos that I've had. For those of you who are in our mentorship, I will see all of you on Monday. For those of you who are going to be with us before Day of Discovery, I will see you then. And for all of those of you who signed up for tickets, if you signed up for either virtual, because we'll be live streaming our class for before Day of Discovery, we'll be live streaming that. If you signed up for in-person or virtual, you will be getting the Zoom links for these classes for the rest of the month. All right, even whether you're a subscriber or not. All right, thank you all so much. And I will talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful day.